You have saved money to buy a house. So you pick up the latest edition of the newspaper, and this is what you read: Housing market shock. Mean and median price disparity widens. Regression ridges: housing prices have reached new heights with significant differences between the mean and median prices. Mean prices are at 4.77 million, whereas the median is at 4.34 million. This 430,000 gap highlights the impact of extreme values on the housing market. The mean price is 430,000 higher than the median price. What does that even mean? And which one should I consider when I have to buy a house? So let's try to be a little bit smart about it. So let me get the housing market data of my town and try to plot the histogram to see if I arrive at the same difference. So on the x-axis is the different housing prices, but in dollars, and it's in millions. And on the y-axis is the frequency, or the number of times that these prices occur. And I divide it into a bucket of 1 million. And I do see that the mean and the median are still have that same difference, and I still arrive at the same $430,000. So the newspaper was right. So at least I know that I am kind of smart. Haha. Anyways, but I'm still stuck with the same question. But why is the mean ahead of the median? So let's try to find out. So let's first define what's the mean. The mean is the sum of all data points divided by the number of data points. Let's imagine a set of 8 numbers, and let's plot it on the number line, with one exception being 45, which is sort of an outlier in this case. So the mean is taking all these numbers, summing them up, and dividing them by 8, which is the total number of elements. And thereby we get the mean, which is 9.125. The median, on the other hand, is the middle value in the sorted list of data points. If there is an even number of data points, it is the average of the two middle numbers. Let's again take the same set of numbers and let's again plot it on the number line, as we can see here, and with the same outlier 45, but this time we are calculating the median. So since this is already an ordered set, we list it out. We take 4 and 5 to be our middle value. We add it up, divided by 2, and we get the median of 4.5. To understand the difference between the mean and the median, let's do an experiment. Let's plot the mean again with the yellow dot, and let's only vary one of the points, which is 45, which is shown with the blue dot, and we move it from 43, 42, and all the way until 0. And let's observe at the same time what is happening to the mean, which is again in yellow, and the median. What we can clearly observe is that the mean is changing as we move this one dot, whereas the median relatively stays the same. To understand the differences a little better between the mean and the median, let's plot it on the two-dimensional plot. On the x-axis, we capture the variations of the blue dot, and on the y-axis, we plot the mean and the median as the blue dot is changing. So again, we start all the way from 0, and what we do observe is that as we are changing the blue dot, the median has a slight fluctuation, but the mean, on the other hand, is linearly changing with that single blue dot. What it shows is that the mean is sensitive to the outlier, whereas the median is not. So coming back to the housing price issue, so that's exactly what's happening. So there are many houses which are cheap, but few which are extremely expensive, and because of which the mean tips to the right side, or the mean increases, whereas the median stays relatively robust to these outliers. So how do we decide when to use the mean and when to use the median? So the first question to ask is, what is the distribution of the data? Is it normally distributed, or is it some other distribution? So for normal distribution, the mean is a good answer because it captures the central tendency, but for anything else, the median might be a better option. The second question to ask is, are there outliers in your data? And if there are, then maybe consider using the median. And finally, the last question to ask is that what do you want to convey? So the mean is appropriate when you're dealing with the sums or totals and want to convey an overall sense of balance or average spread. For example, the average test scores in a class. Whereas the median is appropriate when you're interested in the middle point, or more typical case that represent the center of the data set, especially in income or housing prices, where outliers can give a distorted picture. If you came this far, I would like to say thank you, and please like and subscribe if you like this content.